Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I play scales. Now, this is a intermediate to advanced way to practice scales, so if you're a complete beginner, I recommend you practice just 5-note scales. Or if you've been playing a few months to a year, then maybe 1-octave scales. Okay, let's get into how I practice scales. So the way I play scales is I play in quarter notes for 1 octave, eighth notes for 2 octaves, triplets for 3 octaves, and 16th notes for 4 octaves. So I'll show you. So 1 octave, 1, quarter notes, 1 octave, back down, and then eighth notes, 1 and 2. Same tempo. And now triplets. Same tempo. 3 octaves. And now 16th notes, 4 octaves. Practicing scales this way can help you a lot in your feel of rhythm, how it feels to go from a quarter note, eighth notes to triplets to 16th notes with a very steady and consistent tempo. I recommend practicing this way while using a metronome to make sure that you keep a very consistent and steady beat throughout all these. I also practice arpeggios this way as well, so the same thing, 1 octave for quarter notes, 2 octaves, eighth notes, 3 octaves triplets, and 4 octaves in 16ths. Eighth notes, 2 octaves, triplets, 3 octaves, 16ths, 4 octaves. So this is how I practice scales and arpeggios. Quarter notes, da, dee, are really good for getting blood moving through your fingers. Eighth notes get your fingers to move a little bit more. Triplets feel great and it's fun to play them. And then 16th notes really get your fingers to move, and how to move quickly and lightly. Something that can really be good for your mind when you practice scales is to do exactly this, but play the scale in 6ths, thirds, and tenths. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's move you a little closer. Now, I don't mean to play the scale in thirds, sixths, and tenths in each hand, because that's hard. What I mean is to play in thirds, but with each hand playing one of the notes of the interval. So in C major, have your left hand play C, then your right hand play E. Now this is a little tricky. Make sure you play the correct fingering as well. So finger 3 will start on E in the right hand. So again, we'll do a quarter note in octaves, eighth note 2 octave, triplet 3 octave, 16th notes 4 octaves. Now thirds are probably the trickiest interval to play. Let's take a look at tenths now. So a tenth is pretty much the same thing as a third, but the hands are just an octave apart. So we're not close together like this, but apart. Again, left hand is starting on C, right hand is starting on the E for a 10th. And make sure to use the correct fingering still. Right hand will start on finger 3. And again, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, 16ths. So that's tenths. Now let's do sixths. Now for sixths, so we're in the scale of C major. Our right hand will start on C, but our left hand will start on E. So we have a 6 here. So make sure to use the correct fingering again. Left hand will be starting on 3. Same thing as before, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, 16ths. So practicing the scales in intervals like this that are not just, say, plain old octave is a pretty good mental workout. Alright, so this is how I practice scales, and I recommend you practice scales this way too. Practicing your scales in different rhythms and different intervals is very helpful to your sense of rhythm, coordination, and the building of technique. Alright, that's all for today. Good luck practicing your scales. See you in the next one.